Hey everybody, Shawn Tubbs here. Thanks for tuning in. This is the Two Notes Audio Engineering Le Clean Dual Channel Tube Preamp. It's a really great sounding 2-channel preamp that's going to give you basically a really sweet clean tone to semi-broken overdrive tones. It sounds great into the input of an amplifier, but where I think it really shines is as a direct line input. And that's going to be the focus of this video, because I wanted to create a scenario where, say, you need to go do a church gig and you can have 0 amps on stage, or maybe you need to do a fly out and the backline is going to be horrendous and you would rather just run direct. The other thing I wanted to focus on is there's been a lot of demos of this pedal using the internal cab simulator, which sounds great. But I thought, well, what if you had maybe a torpedo cab simulator, the pedal size IR loader, along with this on your pedal board, and how would that work? And since I don't have one of those, I ended up using my my Wall of Sound plug-in by Two Notes, which you can load the same exact IRs and it'll sound the same. So basically I thought, well, I need to get a great clean, I need to get a great crunch, I can get it out of this pedal. But for a solo tone, maybe because this takes stomp boxes so well, maybe try using the JHS Morning Glory, which is kind of a blues breaker style overdrive pedal, into the B channel for my solo tone. So in that performance, that's what you heard, is all the cleans were the A channel. The overdrives, I shouldn't say overdrive, but the crunch was the A and B channel combined for one track, and then I think I just used the B channel for the other. And then for the solo tone, I used the B channel with the Morning Glory pedal, and it worked really great. So that's the whole idea, is show up to the gig basically with an overdrive pedal, maybe a delay pedal in the effects loop of this, which would work flawlessly into something like a torpedo cab simulator. And you're basically good to go on one little pedal board. Now, real quick, I'll just go through the top panel controls. Your A channel is your clean channel, so you've got gain, volume, treble, and bass. It's all pretty self-explanatory. I will say that the gain doesn't necessarily create overdrive. It just, as you turn it up, it makes it even thicker. You get even more low end, and you'll hear that in the demo. The B channel is a little bit more tweakable, and that channel is going to have a little bit more gain. So your gain is self-explanatory. That's going to create more overdrive. You've got bass, middle, and treb. You can hear those in the demo. The fusion knob is basically there to help you dial in when you've got the channels combined. Now, this switch here that says cold and hot, When it's in the cold setting, you're basically running the two channels in parallel, and the Fusion kind of helps you balance the two channels with each other, so it's kind of that clean into a dirty type of sound. Now, if you put it into the hot mode, that's actually going to be in series. So you're going to be running the A channel into the B channel, and that Fusion control is going to basically control the amount of boost that goes from the A channel into that B channel. So you can get more gain using that setting. And then of course your volume is the output on the pedal. On the sides of the pedals, you've got your 12 volt DC, you've got your headphone out, which is great. The speaker sim, which I'm going to keep off for this demo. You've got a ground lift switch, in case you're buzzing, you can sort that out. You've got your DI output, which is what I'm using for this demo, and I'll tell you the signal flow in the actual demo part of the video. You've got a MIDI in and out on it. And then you also have your just regular 1/4 inch out. And then you've got a send and return. The return's on this side of the pedal. The send is on the other. And speaking of the other side of the pedal, you have your input for your guitar, and then your through in case you want to send something else from the input through to another device. And then of course on the switches, you've got, you know, when they're both off, the pedal's disengaged, A channel, B channel, and then you can combine the two channels for your Fusion settings. So yeah, let's just get right into it. I'll show you how I kind of arrived at the 3 sounds for that demo. So yeah, let's check it out. It's the Two Notes Audio Engineering Le Clean. Okay, let's get started. Basically what I want to show you is how I would have used this pedal in a live setting to get from basically my cleanest clean to a slightly broken sound to an overdriven sound using some sort of overdrive box. And in this case I use the Morning Glory by JHS, which is basically like a blues breaker style overdrive pedal. So the signal chain is going to be Classic Pro Strat, my Sir, into the JHS, into the Two Notes Le Clean, DI'd out into my Apogee Quartet preamp to Pro Tools, and I'm using the Torpedo Wall of Sound, and I'm using a 4x12 IR. I believe it's called the Big Beast. It's basically a vintage 30 loaded kind of 4x12 cab with a 57 Royer mic combination on it. So, you know, we can get into some of the features of the pedal, of course, but I just kind of wanted to show you guys how I got from my so that clean sound to maybe kind of a broken tone, channel B, to turning on the JHS. So on the clean side, it's super, super clean. That's kind of the way I wanted to keep it anyways. So it's got a pretty sweet top end. I can roll the treble all the way off real quick. As you roll that treb up, it does add a little bit of kind of high mid as well. Here's the bass rolled off. Now in this case with the gain and the volume, it just kind of depends on how you set it up. The more gain you use, you're not necessarily going to get like more overdrive. It'll just get a little bit fatter. So that's kind of where I left it set for that clean tone. Here it kind of gets a little bit fatter, and then of course your volume is just the output on the channel. Now moving to channel B, without doing any sort of fusion or hot and cold setting. This is kind of the sound I had dialed for, you know, kind of my semi-broken blues tone. Or kind of a broken kind of bridge position tone. Now you're not going to get a ton of gain out of this channel. That's about it. But where this channel I thought shined is when you added another pedal to it. It really sounded great. So obviously you've got your gain, and then volume is the output of the channel, so we kind of have it balanced, so it's a little bit hotter. Your sweep basically allows you to choose the mid frequency that you want to boost or cut. So you can hear with the mids all the way up, if you use that sweep, and then of course you can boost or cut that, but I kind of found the sweet spot about right there, where it would work well for my kind of crunchy sound, but also when I turned on the JHS, I had a good lead sound. Now the other thing you can do that I did in the track is you can go ahead and combine the two channels by pushing both buttons at the same time, and when it's blue it means it's not being boosted, it's still in kind of the cold mode. So without it, here's with it. So it's a little bit beefier. Now if you want to make it even more gainy, you can hit that hot switch. But keep in mind, it does kind of change the mids and the lows. So it just kind of depends. I mean, there's no right or wrong. It just kind of depends on how you wanted to have it dialed. I left it in the cold setting because it worked best with the JHS for my solo tone. And like I said, that's the whole concept. What if I had to do a fly out and I just wanted to take one overdrive pedal and the Le Clean, and maybe if you're not going to use the Le Clean's DI out speaker simulator, the modeler, and you want to take, say, a torpedo cab, which I think would be ideal with this. It's just could sit on the other side, and you've literally got a board you can just plug straight into the console and go. And that's honestly why I'm using these IRs, is to kind of give you that idea, because there's been plenty of demos about how that cab simulator sounds on the Le Clean. This is more, you know, what if you wanted to take this with, say, a torpedo cab simulator, it would work really well. So that's kind of the idea behind the tones. So as I said, in the clean setting, and to be able to go from that to that rhythm setting, which was the be able to go from that and then to my solo setting. Now, obviously, the Le Clean has an effects loop, so you could put all your time-based stuff in the effects loop. That way, everything you do is post the preamps and input. It's really the sky's the limit as far as what you choose. But like I said, I really just wanted to show you guys that, man, with this and an overdrive pedal and a good, you know, cab simulator, or even using the cab simulator on board, you could literally show up to like a church gig where they didn't want amps. You could show up to a fly out where you know you're going to hate the backline. You'd rather just run straight in, especially if you're on in-ears. It's just a really nice, versatile platform to get you through a gig with basically just a guitar and a pedal board. So that is the Two Notes Le Clean. If you've got any further questions, go to the website and check it out. And as always, I really appreciate you guys tuning in, and we will see you next time.